A few days ago, I heard the very sad news of the passing of Hulk Hogan. And honestly, it feels like a window to the past has been shattered, but I think his impact lives on. Today, I'm going to share how Hulkamania inspired a seemingly impossible goal and my current status on that journey. I believe I'm just one of many that the Hulkster inspired to be their best selves. 3 years ago, I found myself in one of life's valleys. Hulkamania helped me find a path out. At my peak, I was a very fit Ironman finisher. However, after my mom passed, I had gained 100 pounds soon after. I even made a post announcing that the Ironman journey was over. But just a few days after, I was struck with images of the Hulkster hulking up. Hulking up is when Hulk Hogan is at his lowest point in the ring. And just when you thought it was over for him, he'd get this jolt of energy and he'd start hulking up. He'd be able to overcome any attack coming his way. It sent me and my brothers into a frenzy. And right then, I decided I wasn't going to allow myself to retire at my lowest point. I decided I was going to harness that nostalgic power of Hulkamania and aim higher than I'd ever had before to the Ironman World Championship in Kona, Hawaii. And I went all out. I designed a custom triathlon uniform, a sweet bike that's half Hulk Hogan, half Ultimate Warrior. I call it the Hulkinator. And I know those two didn't really get along all that well in real life, but they both had a really positive impact on my childhood. But the fun doesn't stop there. You see, in order for me to qualify for Kona, I have to complete 12 full Ironmans and a 13th Ironman the year after I qualified to confirm. That's a lot of finisher medals. Those medals are all working together towards a greater goal, to not only compete at the Ironman World Championship race, but to stand at the finish line and be able to hoist the Ironman World Championship belt over my head, just as Hogan did at WrestleMania after he body slammed Andre the Giant. Each of the medals attached to the belt itself. So when I decided to go down this Hulkamania inspired journey, I was only halfway to the goal. That's 6 Ironmans of the 12 that I needed. The first 6 Ironmans took me 8 years to complete. And now I only have 2 years to complete the remaining 6 Ironmans. So that's by the end of 2024.
So in the fall of 2023, I was only halfway to the goal of 12 full Ironmans complete. So Ironman Maryland ended up being number 7, Ironman Florida, number 8, and then Ironman Texas in 2024 was number 9, followed by Ironman Cairns, number 10. So today we have a 4-hour training ride. I'm not going to make this YouTube video 4 hours long, no worries there. But the early part of this training ride, I'm going to give you an update. There's 3 races I need to update you on. Each race has its own drama and its own unique insights from my experience doing those races. Might help you figure out if you want to do those races or not. It's connected to my Wahoo kicker. Ready, set, go. All right. And ultimately, this is the goal, this course here, this bike course. So let's get back to it. The first race that I did after Ironman Cairns, Ironman Sweden. There's a number of pros for Ironman Sweden, but one major con to this race that would make me say, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this race if you are a little slower like me right now, because it can turn out to be one big waste of money if you don't know about this one simple fact, and that is that Ironman Sweden is not a 17-hour finish. It's a 16-hour finish. Unfortunately, I had a bike issue. I wasn't able to fix it on my own, and I had to wait over an hour. Yeah, I take full blame on that. That is my bad. I didn't know how to fix the issue on my bike, and, my fault. And it ended up being a very costly mistake because, hey, flying from Bangkok to Kalmar, Sweden. It's not cheap. Hotels, not cheap. All the time commitment, everything else, not cheap. Which, my bad for not reading the race manual ahead of time, the athlete guide. But ultimately, it's an Ironman branded course. I don't think it's a bad assumption to think it's consistent throughout all the brand. But one other thing to mention about the course, it's a very windy course, and there are definitely hills. To be fair, the first part of that race, flying, right? But it's not the first half. It's just maybe the first quarter of the race, winds at your back. But there's a big, giant ridge to go over. I mean, things would have been just fine for me had I not had a bike mechanical issue that needed over an hour for me to get out. I did not finish that race. Finished the bike, most of the run, and then realized, hey, one more lap of this run, I'm done. But I'll be well over the 16-hour time mark because of the bike mechanical issue early. Oh yeah, so that's that. It doesn't mean that the goal of qualifying by the end of 2024 is, oh, after Ironman Sweden, I'm thinking to myself, maybe I just take some time off.
That self-pity didn't last very long. Very soon after I said, you know what, screw it.
And I start training for Ironman Malaysia. This course is terrifying. Ironman Malaysia is known to be one of the toughest courses in the entire Ironman circuit. There's some gnarly hills in there, and it's very hot. And the fact is, I had the opportunity to do Ironman California. I was already signed up even for Ironman California. But that was before I knew I was coming over to Thailand to live, which is far more difficult than Ironman California.
But logistically and fiscally, it made a lot more sense.
That means I'm going to have to do one of the hardest races on the course instead of one of the easiest. I'm freaking out before Malaysia.
Shit. I've just decided I'm going to do a refund with Ironman California. I'm going to use that money and go away from Ironman California, which is a way easier course. Malaysia, Langkawi. Super hard course. I don't know. I'm terrified and I'm excited all at once. Fuck. Ironman Malaysia. I might very well be the last finisher at this race. I gotta try. I gotta do this race.
So I decided to throw a little bit more pressure onto myself for this race. I invite my girlfriend and her mom. We got to drive from Bangkok all the way down to the south of Thailand and then take a boat, short boat, over to Langkawi. It was pretty cool. I got my Thai driver's license before we went. So I got to do most of the driving, and that was a new experience for me.
So a little bit about Langkawi. It's beautiful, an amazing island.
It's really a great destination for a race, especially if you're okay with the heat and some climbing. So let's get into race day. Ironman Malaysia swim start. It's an easy, straightforward swim. How did this swim? Getting out of the swim.
Oh yeah, brother!
I'm going kind of slow early on in the bike, but it starts to downpour in the middle of the bike. At least half of the bike, to the point where it was dangerous even. Couldn't see too far ahead. Yeah, that part sucks, but
Ultimately, we're not getting overheated out there during that kind of rain.
that's really a benefit. For the most part, the bike course is good. So the first part of the run, I'm chugging along, feeling pretty decent. Get to see my girlfriend and her mom. And ultimately, I got to the end of Ironman Malaysia.
Here it is, brother! Oh yeah, brother! Three things I love to me! Malaysia, the Malaysian people, and my girlfriend Oh yeah! Well, I'm Chris Ryder, you are an Ironman!
Finished Ironman Malaysia. But it was only my 11th Ironman completed. I still needed one more before the end of the year in order to qualify for Kona. The last race that I had a chance to sign up for was Ironman Western Australia, and that's in early December. The original plan was Ironman Malaysia be the last one, my 12th, but because I did not finish Ironman Sweden, this was the backup plan. So it comes down to this last race. There's no other possible race after this one. It's the last one in the Ironman calendar. I have to finish. But before I can finish, I have to sign up. Ironman Western Australia was fully booked by the end of Malaysia.
The thing is, I did my research. Years prior, this race did not sell out. It didn't sell out till like 3 days before the actual race day. I figured I had plenty of time. So here I am again, oh shoot. But I did see that they had VIP entries, which is basically double the cost. They have a guaranteed entry. It's my only option. So I sign up. This course is quite nice. Getting the Bustleton. First, the accommodations are pretty reasonable. I did notice there's a lot of people that were camping right next to the start and finish. So that's an option if you're thinking about it.
One thing to note, something really specific to Bustleton or that area. I've never had to deal with this before. All the biting flies.
I literally was walking around with a net over my head. I was really worried. I even packed one of those nets in my special needs bag and my transition bags, just in case those bugs ended up being a problem with the course, which they were not. But while walking around Athlete Village, brace yourself. Upon arriving in Bustleton, I unzipped my bag. There's an issue with my derailleur. I had a oversized pulley wheel. It snapped during the flight. It's a pretty big issue. I found out to find something to fix it. Especially in Bustleton, it's not a major city. Take it to a bike shop and they're calling people on Perth saying, hey, can you bring this down? Yeah, we can probably get there in time. It's going to cost a lot more money than you're probably willing to spend. They were right. Before I go to that nuclear auction, I was spending way too much and hoping they can get there on time. Wandering around the Athlete Village area, looking for bike mechanics, and I find one and explain to them my issue, my situation. He said, hey, you can use this for the race and then just bring it back.
So grateful.
I wouldn't have been able to race if I didn't get that fixed. Now, race morning, we get to the bike check-in area, and I realize that my helmet is not snapping in. They're not letting me in. I'm like, oh shoot, what do I do? Luckily, one of the vendors at the Athlete Village, which is right next to the bike check-in, was open. He's a long-time Ironman himself. He's just sitting there saying, yeah, you're the third person to come to me this morning, and I've got this. You can buy this helmet from me right now. He's not overcharging. He's just charging normal rates. Just a savior in the morning. It's yet another awesome person in this community.
So get the bike wrecked, walk over to the swim, and wouldn't you know it, one of the best announcers, Pete Murray, back at it again. Saw him at Ironman Cairns, saw him at Ironman Malaysia. Now he's here at Ironman Western Australia.
And he has a friend with him this time, Craig Alexander, one of the greatest Ironman World Champions ever. You might know him better as Crowy. When I first started participating in Ironman, Craig Alexander was the guy I looked up to, along with Chris Mecca. Craig Alexander was really cool. I got to meet him again at the swim start for Ironman Western Australia. So the swim start at Ironman Western Australia. Looking at the waves, a little bit difficult out there. Within the first few hundred meters, you're going out, then you take a left.
Whew. I stopped thinking about sharks right away. Those waves were kicking my ass.
After the first loop, I got out of the water. I had motion sickness for sure. I didn't vomit or anything, but other people around me were definitely vomiting.
Oh gosh, I think that was the toughest swim I ever did in all my Ironmans. It was definitely the slowest by far, and I was decently trained for the swim.
Slowest swim of my life. Those waves were fucking crazy.
Hey, you got this. Let's get out, Bam. Let's go.
No Ironman's ever going to be easy, and if you're trying to get a big goal, the Ironman gods are going to slap you a couple more times just to make sure you're really wanting it. And eventually I finish.
Unfortunately, there was somebody who passed away during this swim. A lot of people did not finish. All right, so get onto the bike. I'm pretty good. My extra spare tire fell off the back of my cage here and into my wheel. Almost made me crash. Luckily, I was able to get off and find something sharp to cut it out. So it got all caught up in my chain. It wasn't too long. Got back on my bike and kept moving. Here's the first lap, feeling pretty decent. And then the second lap hits, and a very, very different second lap. Windy, rainy. The good news is, even if it's windy that day, you're not going to get headwind for half of the bike. Plenty of turns, plenty of trees, block the wind, and then we get to the run. I ran for the first half of the run for the most part. Ended up having to do a lot of walk run after that. Got to see my girlfriend a number of times on the run, which really helps.
Finish line was spectacular.
Saw his bike out on course today. It's all Hulkamania. He got the Hulkamania kit. Tonight will be his legacy Ironman, which means he's now eligible for legacy. Watch out, Kona. Here he is.
Let me tell you something, Ironman Bustleton didn't disappoint. Oh yeah, brother.
You want to say a few words, Hulkamania?
Hard race. And I went to a dark place. At one point I heard the bell of the Undertaker. Kona, the Iron Hulk is coming for you.
When the weight comes down and you're feeling low, you gotta